Welcome back, my enlightened ones. This is I, Four Winds Cat. Thank you for coming and joining me tonight. And I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Just to start off, just to let you know that next week we're going to be doing it on St. Nicholas. So we will be going and studying some St. Nicholas and learning about him. He was a real dude. And then we are going to be doing the following class will be tarot reading. I am just going to do a full hour on just doing tarot card reading for you guys as a gift. Um, for me being thankful for all of you. So, thank you for joining me tonight. If you're new here to my channel, thank you for stumbling along me, and you're just as valuable and just as important on those who stumble along later. Thank you all for being here tonight. I greatly appreciate you. So, tonight's class is going to be on Skadi. Skadi. So, if you get my outfit going on here, I'm trying to look a little Norse. I do have some Scandinavian in me, so that's kind of interesting. So, Skadi, who is she? She's the Norse goddess Skadi. Okay, so Skadi um, is a Norse giantess who became the goddess by marriage. She's most famous as a goddess of mountains, snow, skiing, hunting, but she also is known likely origin of geographical term Scandinavia. So they believe that Scandinavia got its name from Skadi. Skadi's symbol includes skis, snowshoes, the bow, as well as the arrow. And as I said, she comes from the land of giants, and you're going to learn about them tonight, as well as Loki and a few other characters that we will be learning about. Let me jump over to Court of Madness. Thank you for joining me tonight. I guess it's just you and I at the moment. So thank you for joining me there, sweetness. Happy to have you. Jumping back to my brands. So again, Skadi. Skadi is a Norse giantess who became the goddess by marriage. She's most famous as goddess of the mountain snow skiing, hunting, but she's also known as the likely origin of geographical term Scandinavia. So Scandinavia, they believe, got her name. Got its name from Skadi. Skadi's symbols include the skis, snowshoes, the bow, as well as the arrow. As I said, she does come from the land of giants, which we were learning about tonight, as well as we're going to be learning a little story about Loki. Yes, the Norse gods are going to be pulled into this tonight, so this is quite interesting here. This is her sigil. This is Scotty's sigil here in Norse. So if we go back to Yggdrasil, that's the tree of life, where all the nine worlds reside. You have Asgard at the top there. Asgard is where Odin and Skadi supposedly reside. And then you have all the other eight realms, as well as that little snake there. Remember the snake? We talked about him that chews away at the roots of the tree, trying to make the tree of life fall. But every day there's this there's three godmothers that tend the roots of the tree, and feeding the tree, trying to repair the damage that this being does every single night. So that's not very nice. Oh, you're always up for Loki stories. Awesome. So, family tree of Scotty. Pajazzi is her father. They do not know the mother. Scotty married Najor, which we're going to learn about in a moment. Okay. Now, as I said, she came from the land of the giants. These are called Jotun, are meaning giants. Jotun means giants, but this also includes dwarfs and elves as well. They're also mixed into this as well. So, Skadi introduction. Skadi is the goddess of winter, darkness in the wilderness. She is a Jotun, as I said, that means giant, a giantess that hunts in the mountains on her skis. Her father is the giant Thiazi, also known as, I'll show you which, hang on one second, let me pull this back up. Her father's also known as Pajazzi. That's just another name for him there going on. So the giant Thiazi, despite being the giantess, she became accepted by the gods of Asgard when she married the sea god Njord. This marriage is not going to last. It's not a very good marriage. It was arranged when the gods killed Skadi's father, who was the cause of much unwanted chaos. But Skadi was ill suited to be the wife of Najorn. As I said, Najorn hated the cold dreariness of Skadi's favorite mountains, and Skadi hated the bright light and noise of Najorn's seaside home. They were incompatible in many ways, and so the marriage ended shortly after it had been established. Scotty's proceeded to become one of the wives of Odin. Yes, Odin had many wives. I guess that was a thing back then, being a god. There's not much to choose from, and you're trying to start family trees and going on here, so you do what you got to do. So these two produced many children together. Scotty is most known for her skill with skiing and various other winter sports. She would go out into the deepest, most quiet parts of the wilderness and ski down the slopes, hunting with the bow and a quiver full of arrows. She was always closely followed by wolf companions. Her husband, the first one, was Najorn. As I said, it was a failed marriage. Then she successfully married Odin. Supposedly they're still married now. Notable relatives, as I said, is they have Thiazi here as her father. Um, and let's see here. The children, it's referenced that Skadi bore Odin's sons, but their names remain unknown. However, we do know that they were victorious in many battles. So, did you have a lovely Thanksgiving, Court of Madness? I hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving. Just sliding in late. You're the only one here. So thank you for being here. I'm just talking to myself. So here she is with her skis, and as I said, she always has a wolf close behind her as well as her bow and arrow. So this is her family here. So Skadi, you have Thor, Odin, Loki, and Freya. Now Freya is also Odin's wife. Okay, so you got two wives going on there. So I'm going to jump into my story here. For the Old Norse, every cold and harsh winter was brought on by Skadi. This is why I'm doing her. We are starting December tomorrow, and she's bringing in that cold winter wind that we bitterly cold. The beautiful but dangerous Jotun, which is said our giant who lives up in the mountains in the hall called Treheim. The Thunder Home, which Traheim means Thunder Home, Scotty was associated with winter skiing, mountains, and bow hunting, and was as determined and unforgiving as she was charming and skillful. Odin described her as the shining bride of the gods. I can pop Odin up here somewhere. Where are you, Odin? So, Asgard, this is where they actually reside. So, there's a couple pictures of their house here and here. And here's Skadi and Odin here. So Odin described her as the shining bride of the gods and chose her as his wife after she had split up with her first husband, Njorn. And to top it off, she is credited with poisoning the ever scheming bad guy of Norse mythology, Loki. Let's dive deeper into this mysterious, powerful saga of Skadi and the giant skiing mountain huntress who brings about winter. Okay, and his Odin with it was a hugging and mugging. All right. What are Skadi's powers? Skadi, as I said, is a Jotun, which is a giant believed to have connection with the power over winter in the mountains, as well as extremely skilled archer and huntress. Her bow and arrows are said to be able to kill anything they hit. As a goddess associated with winter, she is also an expert skier and has been known to race down mountains at very, very high speeds. Yeah, I used to ski. I don't ski anymore. Skadi, goddess of winter, mountains, and hunting, daughter of the giant Theseus, and took the helmet and the mail coat and all weapons of war and went to Asgard to avenge her father. So when Loki's the one who actually killed her father, and we're going to learn why he actually killed his father. So Loki's awesome. I think so too. He's just misunderstood. So anyway, let's learn a little bit about this guy here. So Njord, which was her first husband, the Norse god of wind, sea, and fire, he brings good fortune at sea and in the hunt. He is married to the giant Skadi. His children are Freya and Freyr, and these are different Freya and Freyrs. So just so you know, one's a male, one's a female, for who he fathered on his own sister. I don't understand that. I don't understand the own sister part because they're not related. So originally, Najerd was one of the Vanir. Vanir means, remember, these are beings that represent fertility. Um, so that's what the veneer gods are. But when they made peace with the Asir, he and his children were given to them as hostages. The Asir appointed both Njerd and Freyr, the high priests, to preside over sacrifices. Freya was consecrated as a sacrificial priestess. So, back to Scotty's powers here. Thene's protection, banishing communications, insight in winter. Her symbols are white crystals or clothing. In northern tradition, Skadi is the spirit of the north wind who is blowing powerfully over the earth now. She is the goddess of winter and wears white fur, crystal armor, and the bow and arrow for hunting. That's why I'm wearing my little fur. It's the only fur I have. It's faux furs. Don't get mad at me. All right. So this is the goddess Freya. This is the one that's actually married to Odin. So this would be her soul sister. Yes. So Freya is Odin's wife. So Freya, the Norse goddess of love, beauty, and fertility, is also the goddess of war and death. As such, she laid claim to half of all the warriors slain in battle, while the other half belongs to Odin. She is often called upon for aid where matters of the heart are concerned, but she's also associated with wealth and magic as well. And as I said, they all reside here in Ashgard. In addition to her physical prowess, Skadi is also said to have magical powers such as controlling the weather and creating snowstorms and blizzards at will. I can control the weather. I do it on my channel when I make my videos and I make it snow. Just kidding. All right. Scotty's home is Thrymheim. As I said, after the death of her father, Skadi inherits the Praheimer, which is the place where her father resided. She inherited it up into the mountains, which is translated to thunder home, crash home, or powerhouse, depending on the source of the spelling. Either way, it is the fitting name for the home of the Jotun or the giants, who is the goddess of the mountains, among other things. Um, Now you've heard me mention about the poem Edita. This is actually written about her as well. Here is how Praheimer is described. Praheimer is the six is named. Let's see. Okay, sorry. Traheimer, the six is named where Prajazi, that's her father, dwelt. That all powerful Jotun, that's the giants. But Scaldi now inhabits the bright bride of the gods, her father's ancient home. So that's actually written into the Adita poem there. Scotty and Najor are ill-fated marriage. Okay, so this is her first husband here. I'll pull him back up here for you. Are one of the most well-known Norse myths, largely due to the classic Scandinavian folk tale as told by Snorre Sturluson. Again, these names kill me. I apologize. Yes, no hate mail, please, if I mispronounce. In this story, Skadi is married to the god of wind and water, Najor, and their relationship is extremely stormy, to say the least. Get that, stormy? Wind. Sorry. After they married, Skadi wanted to live in the mountain hall with her father in Trondheim, while Najern wanted to live in the ocean home. It's called Noatun, which is Nutatun. So they decided to live 9 nights, okay, in the winter and 3 nights in the ocean. So the way it was divided, the residency was winters, instead of an even split between the two means that Scotty's determination and unwillingness to compromise, she prevailed. Now, John isn't happy with the mountains, though, saying the following. This is also written in the poem Edita. Here it is. I was sad in the mountains, though I was not there long, only 9 nights. The wolf howls, it seemed to me sad compared to the swan songs from the ocean. Scotty, in return, did not have much better things to say about the ocean. This is also written in here. Sleep I could not on the seashore to the cries of the birds, the seagull that came from the sea wakes me every morning. Scotty's icy demeanor was no better than John's longing for the open seas, and eventually their relationship proved too difficult, resulting in the two leaving one another. So they bye bye. They split up. So Scotty and Odin. Here we go. So jump over to comments. You think they were well, where do you see how she picked him out to marry him? They didn't even talk. She looked at his feet. That's how she picked him out. So it's kind of crazy story there, which we'll be getting into here. Here, I'll put it up now for you. She's picking. So what happened was Loki killed her dad. And she got ticked off and she went up to Asgard to kick some Asgard ass. And what happened is instead of her wreaking havoc, they said, let us give you a husband. So they put all these men behind this curtain with only their feet showing, and she would pick out the set of feet that she liked the best to be her husband. She didn't even talk about. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, unlike her tumultuous relationship in Adjourn, Scotty and Odin supposedly had a much more harmonious partnership. This is mainly derived from the fact that they were described to have many sons together. Perhaps it was Odin's act of throwing the eyes of her dead father up into heaven. So he threw Jadasti's eyes up into the heaven, which became stars, part of a constellation, which is kind of crazy here. Here it is. So the eyeballs up in the sky. So the Vedfrenur, that is where his eyeballs are, is in that constellation there. So that's quite interesting there. So right after we find out that Skadi and Najern separate, we are told that Najern has two children, Freya and Freya. Okay, although we are not told specifically who their mother is. Okay, so we actually don't know if Scotty was actually the mother of these children, or if these, again, if we go back to this one up here where it mentions about him possibly having um, had children with his sister, so it could be his sister. But anyway, so it was, it kept flipping back and forth on that aspect of it. So I don't believe that they're actually her children. I actually believe that they're John's children from another woman. So although we are not told specifically who the mother is, scholars and artists alike assume they are as a result of their marriage. Mostly, as we are told, a second wife of Najern's. So the second wife of Najern would be Scotty. So Freya and Freya are both described as fair in appearance and mighty. Okay, so Frey is the male son. All right, he rules over the rain and sunshine and the crops of the earth, and should be called upon for good crops and peace. He also rules over men's property. Freya is the most glorious. She possesses the dwelling place in the heaven called Folkvang. That's Folkvang. And when she rides into battle, one half belongs to her and the other half belongs to Odin. So they share that possession. Should have asked to see their hands. So funny. Says a lot about a guy, doesn't it? All right, moving on. Okay, so the poisoner. Here comes Loki. So let me put Loki up here. Got Skadi versus Loki. Loki, here we go. After Loki is accused of slaying Skadi's father, Chijasi, The Aesir tries him. So the Aesir, what they are, it's a Norse deity group, okay? These are them. Here they are, Thor, Odin, Loki, Freya, okay? So this is all part of the group. So when I mention the Aesir, the Aesir, I believe it's called, um, that is who I'm actually talking about. He ties them down with his son Nair's intestines, while Skadi ties a venomous snake above the head of Loki. Let me get back to Loki. Here's Loki. Here he is. Here's another picture of Loki. Ties a venomous snake above the head of Loki so that the venom drips down towards Loki's face. As the venom eventually drips onto and burns Loki's face horribly, this results in a furious Loki causing not just one, but also every earthquake since. So he got so pissed off, he started earthquakes. So that's quite interesting. What does the name Skadi mean? Skadi can be written as Skadi or Skathi in English or Skade in Swedish, and most likely means shadow or shadowy one. So here's Scotty again. Here she is. So means shadowy one would then be connected to the Gothic Scadus, the Old English Skadu or Saxon Scado or Old High German Scato. Other theories include that it could simply be connected to the Old Norse word Skadi, which means harm, injury, or damage. I wouldn't want to piss her off. It would then be connected to the Swedish skada as well as the English skaith. Skadi is also sometimes called underdis, Ondurdis, underdis, okay, or skidis, which means the skier. And I believe that's where they get the word ski from, if I'm right here. Scotty's legacy origins. The name Scandinavia is theorized to be called from historians is derived from Scotty's name. So I thought that was interesting. And then thought to mean the island of Skadi. This is, however, just a theory with many other explanations seeming more probable. So in Norse mythology, Skadi sometimes anglicized as Skadi, Skade, or Scathy, or is a Juton, as I said, is that giant. The Hunstead monument that is believed to be depicted riding a wolf. That's up here in the corner here, where he's riding a wolf with vipers as reins and goddess associated with bow hunting, skiing, winter in the mountains. Skadi is attested to the poetic Edda, as I said, that I read to you earlier, the couple little poetic quotes from there. Compiled in the 13th century from the earlier tradition sources, the prose Edda and the Heimskringla, written in the 13th century by Snorri Sturluson. Wow, these names are killing me. And in the works of skalds. So Skadi is the daughter of the deceased Pajazi. So anyway, so as I said, she does stay with Odin up in Asgard. And here's a couple more pictures, as I said, of Asgard. So she picked her husband, the Jorn. So I think tonight's moral of this story is look at the man's hands, not his feet, to determine if he's good to marry. So anyway, hi Julie. No worries, honey. We're actually done. This was just a short class tonight. I just wanted to go over the Norse goddess here and mention about Thor and a few other elements that we were mentioning tonight. So next week's class, St. Nicholas, we will be doing it on him. Then the following week, I'm going to be doing card readings. I'm not going to have a class. I'm just going to sit here for an hour with my tarot cards, and whoever says, hey, hit me up, do me. I'm going to actually not just a 3-card spread. I'm doing a full spread on you guys to give you some insight maybe to what's coming into the future for the new year coming to be. I'd be mad too if someone dripped venom on my face. Well, he killed his father, so yeah. Um, there is a little expert here. Let's see here. If I jump over to banners, they came across, and this is the reason why they killed him. So I'm going to get just two more little pages here. I know I put it in here. Okay, so Loki and came across this pot in the woods. They were hungry and they brought meat to this pot, and they kept trying to cook the meat in the pot, but the meat would not cook. The bird up here that you see in the tree is actually Scotty's father. He transformed himself into this bird, and he was preventing the pot from cooking. So when they asked him to make the pot work, that we would share some of the meal with you, okay, and that's where this is coming into now. So this is the story. Gods Odin, Loki, and the Norse god Holinir, they actually, Odin and him actually created humanity, supposedly, journeying traveling through the mountains and wilderness until they were in need of food. In the valley, they saw and heard of oxen, and they took one of the oxen and set it in an earth oven. So this is the earth oven that you see here that they're gathered around. But after a while, they found that it would not cook. As they were trying to determine the reasons for this, they heard someone talking in the oak tree above them, saying that he himself was the one responsible for the oven not cooking. They looked up and saw that it was Pajazi. Again, there's that Thiazi and Pajazi are the same people. That is Scotty's father, in the form of a great eagle, and he told them that if they would let him eat from the ox, he would make the oven cook for them. To this they agreed, so he came down from the tree and began devouring a large portion of the meat. He ate so much of the meat that he pissed off Loki and Loki grabbed his long staff and attempted to strike him, but the weapon strike struck, wow, fast to Pajazi's body, and he took flight, carrying Loki up with him. As he flew across the land, Loki shouted and begged to be let down as his legs banged across the trees and the stones because the bird couldn't quite lift him because he was heavy. But Pajazi would only do so on the condition that Loki must lure. Oh my God, this is Ion, which is apples. He actually is in charge of apples, and these apples he gives to the gods, and they're supposed to let you live forever. So I wonder if an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Maybe that's part of that story. So out of Asgard with her apples of youth, which he solemnly promised to do. Later, as agreed, Loki lured Ion out of Asgard into the forest, telling her he had found some apples that she might think worth having, and that she would bring her own apples with her to compare them. Pajazi, which is Scotty's father, then appeared in his eagle shape, grabbed Ion, and flew away with her to his realm and located in Jotunheimer. The gods, deprived of the apples, began growing old and gray. So now these pissed off all the gods because now they're not getting the apples that are helping these gods to live forever. So they learned that Ino was at least seen going out with Asgard with Loki. So they threatened him with torture and death until he agreed to rescue her. Loki borrowed a magical coat from Freya that would allow him to take a shape of a falcon, then flew to Jotunheim until he reached the hall of Pajazi, which is again Scotty's father, and rescued her and took her out on the sea on a boat. Loki transformed her into a nut. Oh my good God. And carried her back, flying as fast as he could. When Pajazi returned home and discovered she was gone, he assumed his eagle form and flew after Loki. When the gods saw Loki flying towards them, Pajazi right behind, they lit a fire which burned Pajazi's feathers, causing him to fall to the ground, where he was set upon and killed. Pajazi's daughter, Skadi, then put on her war gear and went to Asgard to seek vengeance, but the gods offered her atonement and compensation until she was placated. She was also given the hand of Najern in marriage as the further rep, as further retribution, Odin took Pajazzi's eyes and placed him in the night skies as the stars. So his eyes became the stars. That's the Venfenir one. That is the constellation there. So, crazy, right? Jumping over the comments. I'm just talking. Um, Card readings. Yeah, card readings. That's going to be nice. I want to have a class. It's one thing for me to sit here and read the material that I pulled together for the class and stuff. I want to be a little bit more personable with you guys, if that's possible. So, I figured if I can just sit here and just feel your energy come at me and read your cards and maybe give you a little insight, I thought that would be fun. So, hail, Scotty. To Skadi, hail to Skadi, fair child of old Thiazi. As I said, her father's got several different names. Pajazzi, mountain woman, bride of sea-dwelling Najern. Skadi of the snows of cold so keen it sears the throat, of hard winds that drive the stinging sleet across our faces, of warm breath hanging in clouds before us. Grant us firm footing on slick black ice. Yes! I fell before in black ice. That's not fun. Grant us safe journeys through winter's gales. Grant us eyes to see your season's beauties. Hail to Scotty, ever present goddess. Scotty, here she is. So I just want to do a prayer to Scotty real quick, and then I will let you guys go. Hail to Scotty, warrior and lady of winter. May I always feel your courage within while I traverse an icy path. Scotty of the snow and freezing wind, let the song of the wolves ignite my spirit, keeping me warm in life's storms, granting me safe passage in winter's gales. Hail, Scotty, fierce goddess of winter. And the funny thing is when I started preparing this class, I went to bed that night after I was really doing this class and I was really getting into it and really studying and reading about it. I went to sleep, and when I woke up the next morning, I swear to God, I saw a very, very, very tall person, but they were wearing a vest like this, but it was all fur. It was brown fur. I remember, and it was a female, and she had the long braids going down. I swear to God, she came into my house. So anyway, yeah, that in between state, when you're kind of just waking up and you're kind of coming back, you kind of see funky stuff. So anyway, so that is tonight's class, and that's it on Scotty. And I thank you all for being here, and I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving and enjoyed your families and get to sit down and enjoy. Hey, my crystal ball is glowing. That's kind of crazy. It's from the light, I think. Yeah, it's the light over here that's doing it. So anyway, thank you guys all for being here tonight, and anybody else that stumbles along. As I said, you're just as valuable and just as important. So thank you all. You make me shine. I love you all. So St. Nicholas, we're going to learn about Santa Claus next week. So that's going to be fun. I love you all. Thank you all for being here, and you have a lovely night. And we'll see you next week. And one more thing. Oh, yeah. Shine, 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 guys. Keep shining your light. Be that light in the darkness. Bye, guys. Take care.